Today we are going to see about the combing of yarn for achieving superior quality fibers. Let us see what is combing. Combing is a process in yarn manufacturing that follows carding. It straightens and paralyzes the fiber while removing the short fibers, impurities, and nets, and the fiber knots also removed from this process. This is the systematic diagram of combing process. What is the contrast between the carded yarn and the combed yarn? The combed yarn is superior in quality when compared to the carded yarn because it does not undergo any process step like combing. Result of combed yarn. The combed yarn will have a more uniform, cleaner, and stronger sliver that helps to produce a good yarn for the spinning. You can see the difference between the combed yarn and the corded yarn. In the combed yarn, the fibers are very long and it has a smoother structure, higher strength, less length, and more expensive when compared to the carded yarn. The carded yarn have disadvantages like it has a shorter fibers, coarser texture, lower strength, more length, and less expensive. Can clearly see the surface textures of carded yarn and the combed yarn. The combed yarn has a smoother structure and less hairiness when compared to the carded yarn. You can clearly see the difference and surface texture of the carded yarn and 100% combed yarn. In the first picture, the yarn which is carded, it has a more hairiness, and the combed yarn which has a less hairiness, it shows it has a more longer fibers and uniform surface in the yarn. If the fabric gives more unsightful appearance in the fabric structures when the combed yarn gives more smoother surface structure in the fabric. See the objectives of combing. The first objective of the combing is to remove impurities. It is first and foremost important objective of combing, which eliminates the trashes, leaf particles and dirt and other foreign particles which are not removed from the carded process. Main objective of the combing process is to remove short fibers. In this process, the short fibers, unwanted fibers called knot, is removed or discarded to create more uniform fiber length. The next main objective of the combing process is to straighten and paralyze the fibers. Arranges the remaining long fibers to be more parallel, which improves the yarn strength and appearance. The next important objective of combing process is to improve yarn characteristics. It increases yarn evenness, smoothness, and luster. Now we will see about the combing workflow process. The first step is the preparation of sliver lap. The combing process has three types of laps preparation. One is called sliver lap, super lap, and the ribbon lap. The super lap is formed for the modern combing machines, and the sliver lap and the ribbon laps are formed continuously. First step is called preparation of sliver lap, either sliver lap or super lap. The multiple carded slivers are fed into the sliver lap machine to create a single uniform sheet of fiber, or it's otherwise called as a lap. The second main step is called comber machine. The lap is fed into the comber machine. The machine uses nippers to grip the fiber and combs to remove the short fibers from the beard or protruding edges. Detaching and piecing. After combing, the long parallel fibers are detached and joined or pieced together with the fibers from the next cycle to form a continuous combed sliver. The next step is called post combing or finished drawing process. This is the last process of combing. The combed slivers are processed through the draw frame again to ensure the maximum blending and uniformity. The first combing cycle is feeding. The comber lap is fed as a shorter distance. The next one is called nipping. The nipper plate grips the fiber. The next cycle is combing. It is in the cylinder. The rotating cylinder combs with its fine pins passes through the fringe of fibers, removing the noils and impurities. The noil is otherwise called as a short fibers. In this step, the short fibers are totally removed. Cycle is nipper forwarding and piecing. The nippers release the fiber and move forward to place the newly combed fringe on the top of the previously formed web. The combing on the top. The stationary top comber moves the fiber fringes to complete the combing action as the detaching rollers pulls the fiber forward. Detaching. The next cycle is called detaching. The detaching rollers draw the fiber forward to form a continuous fiber. Everyone know about the comber process cycle. Let's see about the type of combers. There are three types of combers which is commonly used in spinning mills. The four most commonly used combers are called rectilinear combers. The most common type used for cotton and short staple fibers. It uses swinging nippers and stationary detaching rollers. The next type is called circular combers. Historically, it is used for worsted process for long wool fibers, though it has a less common now. The next one is called hackling machines used for processing the long bast fibers such as flax. Next, we will see about the benefits of using combed yarn. It has a high quality which has removed of short fibers and there is no imperfections in the yarn so that it has a clearer, smoother and uniform yarn. The next main benefit is called strength and durability. As this combed yarn have a longer parallel fibers which produces a stronger, more durable yarn than compared to carded yarn, and it has a less prone to pilling and fraying. The next main benefit of using the combed yarn is for the lustrous appearance. The combed yarn has a slight sheen due to the parallel element of the fiber. The next is softness. The finished fabric is much softer and smoother to touch. The third, as the other luxury applications, it is ideal for high-end garments, baby clothes, fine fabrics and bed linens. See the trade-offs combing. That means the disadvantages of combing. The first main disadvantages is increased cost. The process requires additional machinery, energy and labor compared to processing the carded yarn. The next main disadvantages is material waste. A significant portion of the raw material, about 5 to 25%, is removed as an oil, which adds to the overall production cost. The next disadvantage is productivity loss. The process is intermittent and rather than the continuous process, which affects overall output compared to the other spinning process. I hope everyone understood about the combing process. Let's summarize the combing process. Combing is an optional but crucial step for producing high quality yarn. It significantly improves the yarn strength, evenness and lustrous, removing the short fibers and impurities. The rectilinear comber, which operates through the precise cycling of nipping, combing and detaching. Thank you everyone.